Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to TiE Capital GovCon conference. And this particular session is a reverse pitch to federal executives as well as federal contracting companies. The purpose of this session is to bring innovative companies from Silicon Valley who are currently providing digital transformation, cloud modernization, cloud governance, and application modernization. We are presenting three disruptive technology companies from Silicon Valley, and we have executives from CoreStack, Dupla Cloud, and Aspire. So let me present the first company, CoreStack, and what their pitch and what they're offering, and we'll go from there.
Enterprises are rapidly embarking on a digital transformation initiative, and cloud adoption is a strategic part of this. Public cloud is expected to grow to $355 billion by 2022. However, companies are struggling with operational complexities, security and compliance assurances, and unabated cloud costs. Additionally, 93% of enterprises plan to utilize multiple clouds where these issues only worsen. What's imminently needed is real cloud governance. Welcome to CoreStack. We empower enterprises to rapidly achieve continuous and autonomous cloud governance at scale. CoreStack has helped companies achieve predictable outcomes. We've done so through 5 pillars called OSCAR, namely operations, security, cost, access, and resource. CoreStack's technology is backed by cloud-native governance. We build on the native capabilities of the cloud service providers, and we enhance them to deliver a uniform experience. Our uniqueness is that we utilize orchestration frameworks, deep AI ML, and patented connectorless models. Today, we are successfully deployed globally across multiple industries. We readily support several industry regulations and can enable any new standard in a matter of just a few days. And thanks to the advanced partnerships with AWS and Microsoft, we strive to continuously unleash the power of cloud with real governance. But don't just take our word for it. Here's an enterprise that saved $1.5 million in cost savings within just 2 months. And other companies have benefited greatly as well. As a strong testament to the impact we've been able to create, we are honored to be recognized by the industry. Supported by a dedicated team with over 100 years of relevant experience, the backing of leading investors, as well as the help of strategic advisors such as the former CEO of Wipro and the ex-CIO of Microsoft, we truly believe that we can deliver transformational cloud governance for your enterprise. Thank you for your time. We welcome you to learn more about us at corestack.io.
Let me present the first speaker as part of this panel from CoreStack, Venkat Perumal. Please come online and say a few words about CoreStack.
Sure. Hi. Thanks, Prabhakaran. Hi, everyone. This is Venkatesh Perumal, Venki. I head the sales and sales engineering at CoreStack. Been there since the founding days and have been part of the cloud journey for the last in the industry for about more than 10 years, in the IT industry for close to about 25 years. About CoreStack, I think you have already seen what kind of governance automation that CoreStack brings in with a built-in AI and ML capability to ensure that the entire cloud adoption or the digital transformation that federal departments are going through today can be accelerated with much more confidence, because the first step towards any digital transformation initiative to be successful, I think it is important to have governance, and more so or not in today's scenario, cybersecurity takes #1 priority, right? And that's where CoreStack really helps. With one cloud or multiple cloud, the complexity increases, and CoreStack is the answer for that. And that's where our framework, which is OSCAR, very relatable name. So keep in mind, OSCAR is the solution which can accelerate your digital transformation and make it much more successful.
Excellent, excellent, Venkat. And thanks for joining us today. Once we finish the two other companies, then we will have we can take questions from the audience and we can discuss how your solution can help the federal agencies. And the next company that we would like to present is Duplo Cloud, again from Silicon Valley. Jennifer, please present their pitch.
More than a decade back, AWS introduced infrastructure as a service that abstracted away complex enterprise tools and hardware and made consumption of infrastructure a few mouse clicks. Servers moved to the cloud, silos of IT made way for DevOps. Soon, cloud evolved from basic infrastructure to powerful application services in compute, storage, network, security, databases, IoT, AI, and others. There are now over 200 service verticals in Amazon and Azure. There is an explosion of DevOps tools to support this. Lack of cloud subject matter experts is the single biggest blocker to cloud adoption. Hiring a DevOps workforce is hard and expensive. Cloud-native companies created billions in value, while most legacy enterprises are struggling in their cloud journey. Duplo Cloud provides digital workers with cloud subject matter expertise for the cloud workforce. It is not a DevOps tool, but it is the DevOps engineer itself. Using robotic process automation techniques supported by AI/ML schemes, Duplo Cloud has built a digital workforce that enables a single human operator to manage several hundred workloads. On average, clients have realized 50% savings and 10x increase in productivity. How does it work? Duplo Cloud digital workers install in a virtual machine in your cloud account. Users interface with the bot through a browser or API. They describe their application needs in simple declarative terms while the bot auto-generates the underneath infrastructure policies. It manages a complete application and infrastructure lifecycle that includes security, deployment, cloud access control, logging, monitoring, CI/CD framework, compliance controls, and others. Users are not required to understand any nuances of the cloud infrastructure, which is implicitly weaved and kept updated by the bots as per industry best practices. The digital worker capabilities cover 95% of the user's use cases out of the box. The rest covered by Duplo Cloud personnel or in-house DevOps teams in larger setups. Duplo Cloud team was among the original engineers of Microsoft Azure, where they built techniques that enabled Azure to manage millions of workloads across the globe with a few hundred engineers. Duplo Cloud brings similar capabilities to the Main Street IT. We can operate your cloud infrastructure end-to-end while you focus on building business applications. Duplo Cloud, your digital worker for cloud ops. Learn more at duplocloud.com.
Excellent. Now, we would like to present our next panel speaker, founder and CEO from Duplo Cloud, Venkat Trivanagam. Venkat, please say a few words about you and the company, and thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Venkat. I'm the CTO and CEO for Duplo Cloud. Yeah, like you said, I think if one of your core problems is actually hiring subject matter experts, and you have wished that somehow if I had a bot which could auto-generate a lot of the code, a lot of the Terraform infrastructure as a code that follows out-of-box best practices and so on. And that's the intent, basically, how we built Duplo Cloud. And as a background, I started my career at Microsoft Research, which went on to become Azure, sort of grew Azure from 100 servers to 5 million virtual machines with a handful of engineers. And we thought that I think such a technology which enables Amazon and Azure to manage these millions of virtual machines with a handful of people, I think such a technology should be available to Main Street IT. And that's really the intent behind Duplo Cloud. It's basically a DevSecOps bot which can operate side by side with your IT teams and keep things smooth and rolling.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And we'll discuss more about the product and solution during the panel discussion. Stay there. Jennifer, please roll the next company that we would like to present is Aspera. Again, they are from Silicon Valley. Jennifer, please roll their pitch.
Hi, I'm Kamal Anand, CEO and co-founder of Asperia. Medicare beneficiaries regularly use smartphones. Using smartphones, they take pictures, get directions, and communicate with their loved ones via texting, and even businesses like banks. What if they could get timely communication from Medicare via texting? And what if they could get benefit information on demand using familiar text-based communications? And not just one-way notifications, but they could actually take actions with a simple text back. Using Asperia chatbot, you can proactively engage seniors and ensure that they get the right preventive care. As seen here, although the message itself may seem simple, it is formed with information from the electronic health record and Medicare claims data. Deep integration with EHRs like Epic, Cerner, and others, along with data sources like the Medicare claims data, allows these communications to be personalized and actionable. Patients can even book their appointment right there with a couple of texts. All this automation lowers the burden on the healthcare system staff, leading to great patient experience, wonderful operational benefits, and improved patient care. The multiple step chatbot can engage seniors in almost human-like manner so that they get an opportunity to learn about their benefits and utilize them. The chatbot could be used for any kind of preventive care scenario, such as flu vaccinations, colonoscopies, or even ESRD management. Not only this, seniors can also ask questions 24/7 and get the responses to coverage-related questions. The chatbot can further help seniors connect with licensed practitioners in their area, thus improving quality of care and reducing fraud. Asperia's chatbot can be customized to respond in multiple languages, including Spanish, Mandarin, and actually 100 other languages. Asperia can also enable similar functionality via Google Home and other similar products, allowing seniors to get the relevant information easily. If the need arises, Asperia chatbot can connect seniors with live agents directly from Google Home. Asperia is a platform for automating workflows in healthcare organizations using actionable and personalized patient communications at scale. Today, we have just given you a small glimpse of the possibilities. Thank you.
Excellent. Now, our next speaker that we would like to present is Chinmay from Asperia. Please join us and give a quick introduction and a few words about you and your company. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Prabha. Hi, everybody. Kamal is traveling, so I am filling in for him. My name is Chinmay Singh, and I am one of the founder of the company. As you saw in the pitch, that we talked about Medicare beneficiaries, but we work with a lot of hospitals, large health systems, and we are deeply integrated with electronic health records such as Epic, NextGen, and we are going live with Cerner as well. And by using this integration, we automate almost anything that patient does with the clinic or their doctor over the phone. So these activities could be as simple as reminding patient for their appointment, or more deeper things such as following up with the patient post-discharge, and if there is something wrong, then alerting the care team, helping patients who have mental health conditions, monitoring with them, and if the response indicate there's a problem, then alerting the care team. So as you evaluate us from the point of view from a payer, which is CMS, but at the same time, if we have representative here from VA or DOD who are looking at VA hospital, and we know that you are implementing Cerner, you would be able to use the same thing in much deeper fashion with the VA population. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Panel speakers, everyone please come onto the camera. We'll start some discussion. We'll take some questions from the audience. Before we take the questions from the audience, one common question for all of you, if each one can give a 30 seconds answer. Who is your ideal customer, where your solution will be the best fit with respect to government agencies or companies who are working with the federal agencies, because that's the today's audience, where we have several hundred executives from the DC Metro participating this event today. So if you can give a quick brief on who's your ideal customer, where your solution will be the most optimal fit, I think we can start with that. Maybe Chinmay, you can start with that.
Sure. Thank you, Prabha. So our ideal customer is a Center for Medicare and Medicaid. And so CMS would be one. If there are folks here from state Medicaid agencies, so that would be the second, but they are like pair organization. And other than that, anybody from VA attending VA hospital, that would be our second category here.
Excellent. Venki, core stack.
Yes. So core stacks, the ideal customer base in federal would be wherever the cloud is being adopted, right? We have seen large contracts being signed with Microsoft. AWS is getting subscriptions being added up. So DHS or DoD, Air Force, Navy. So that we've been seeing a lot of cloud adoption there. And that's where core stack really fits in, because there's a whole need for continuous security and compliance, which is required. And for that to be really working on a continuous basis with cloud, with so much of dynamic resources getting provisioned day in, day out, core stack is the solution which can provide across multiple cloud or even the single cloud as well.
Excellent. Venkat from Dupla Cloud.
Yeah, hi. It's basically the DevOps teams and the VP of engineering, the engineering teams wherein they need more self-service. The DevOps team, where if you're adopting infrastructure as a code, you want to get more and more automation, and you want to adopt latest and the greatest of technologies to stitch together multiple other tools, and you're ramping up your DevOps teams, hiring them. So I think the bot can be very useful. On the engineering side, if you want to focus on your application, while you would want a lot of self-service with the right guardrails, without worrying about making mistakes in terms of security and compliance, so that would be the engineering team. So that's where I think largely.
Okay, so Venkat, you're saying that it's bot, and even Chinmay mentioned that it is about a bot. So you're doing a lot of automation and transformation. So we heard about a lot of in the digital transformation, the chat bot and automation. You're hearing about low code or no code. So is Dupla Cloud, you're saying that are you replacing a DevOps engineer, or you're increasing efficiency? Can you give a
Yeah,
little
so
back?
what we are doing is that, no, I wouldn't say we are really replacing a DevOps engineer, definitely not at a scale of a GovCloud and so on. Effectively, what we are basically doing is, yes, definitely an individual DevOps engineer can do a lot more if you were to have the software. But here's the concept in general. Basically, it's a low code solution. So if you are a DevOps engineer and you have to adopt, let's say, Terraform as it is, you would, let's say, have to write 10,000 lines of code. So instead over here, you would not have to write 10,000, you would have to write, let's say 500 lines, and the rest of the 9,500 would be auto-generated for you. And you can review it and you can say, oh, by the way, this is what I would have written. So in that sense, I mean, if to write this much amount of automation, if you're trying to hire, let's say 100 people or retrain 100 people, I think this bot can come in and help over there.
Awesome,
So,
awesome. Okay,
it's
and
not like another DevOps tool which requires
okay.
a subject matter expertise. It's like it's like automating the automators.
Wow.
It's a
Okay.
bit like that.
Okay. So more of policies and procedures, so that reducing
Yeah.
the error, those kind of thing.
Yeah. It basically has three inputs.
Okay.
One is your high level application specification. Second, what compliance standard you need to meet. And finally, third, which cloud you are. So it picks up the best practices and auto generates 90-95% of the automation code.
Okay. Wow.
And it works with all the great tools, like, for example, Venki mentioned Core Stack. There are like a lot of other tools, Kubernetes, this and that, and it'll put those things together in the right way and reduce your subject matter expertise needs.
Yeah. I know you're just a growing startup. How many bots are running, and how many servers are you guys are managing now?
So we have about 30 customers, about a little more than 2 dozen customers, and we have maybe close to a few thousand nodes which are on the platform. One customer typically would have like one or two bots, and we operate mostly in regulated industry. 70% of our business comes from regulated industry, PCI, HIPAA, SOC 2. and high trust. These are the four most common standards, and NIST are the ones that typically people have followed using the software.
Excellent, excellent. And from core stack perspective, Venki, you're specifying, like, basically cloud in compliance and governance, and also you're bringing multi-cloud governance, right? So basically you're proposing your product is capable of managing all the major cloud providers under one platform, something like that. But most of these cloud providers, they do have their own compliance, and they have some kind of securities and governance and policies. So how do you position yourself, or why do you see this value proposition? A lot of enterprises are currently using your product. Can you give a little background that why and what pain point that you are trying to solve using your solution?
Absolutely. So today, if you look at the key cloud service providers like AWS or Azure, and as the adoption is going on, the number of services, basic services like monitoring services or backup services or logging services, which are the basic of the services which are provided by the leading players, they do only a point in time solution for you. They provide log data, they provide monitoring data to go and take action. But when we are talking about enterprise, they are not just using one account. They are actually having hundreds of accounts. The way they structure their entire organization, they have thousands and thousands of resources running. How do you extract all of these data, build in the intelligence to provide governance end to end? Governance has always been looked at always from an access perspective, but core stack way of looking at it is end to end, and that's why the Oscar really comes in place, right? So you have to look at it from an operations perspective, security and compliance, cost, access, and resource, right? So it has to, and every pillar here is interconnected, and which in the case of native cloud service providers, they are not interconnected. They always say that they provide you best practices prescription, but how do you automate it, build intelligence on top of that, is what core stack does, right? So if you are in the beginning of the journey, all you have to do is just set all the rules, governance rules and controls upfront, and then as you start moving workloads from your on-prem or start provisioning new workloads in the cloud platform, all of these controls will start providing the violations in order to tell you whether you are in the right path, you're not in the right path. It will tell you. But for the organizations which are matured, all they have to do is just be core stack does a complete assessment and provides, hey, these are the various areas that you need to improve, and puts you in a continuous governance mode. It's not just one time assessment. It's on a continuous basis, because the entire infrastructure itself is so dynamic. Yeah, so that's where core stack really differs.
Yeah. So in your presentation, you mentioned that even though the core value proposition that you are saying is more of a compliance and security and policies, but in your pitch, you have said that you have reduced a few $1 million worth of cloud spending for a customer. So how this fit into either cost optimization or solution optimization? Can you give a light on that?
Absolutely. So first thing is having a complete visibility, right? Without visibility, you cannot provide optimization, you cannot provide anything. So core stack first provides you visibility, and then allows you to implement controls. And these controls are across all of these, right, resources. Now, that's where the afterthought of, once you implement controls, the cost optimization is no more a one-time activity, but it is more of a continuous activity. I set control stating, hey, none of the resources should be left unattached. Simple, right? So as soon as a resource gets terminated, firewalls, network security group, all these are just lying unattached. There is a cost associated with it. There is a cost associated with storage, EBS volumes. And what CoreStack does is we call it as zombie resources or orphan resources. It identifies that, helps you automate to clean it up as and when the resources gets detached. The complete life cycle of moving the storage from an active storage volume to a backup storage volume to a archival storage volume. This is another sort of cost optimization, allowing you to set auto shutdown based on tagging, allowing you to right size the resource based on utilization. So these are the various automations which are already built in, which provides optimization, not one time, but it's on a continuous basis with recommendation, also allowing you to go and fix it as well.
Got it. Got it. Excellent. Excellent. And for Chinmay, your solution seems very, very interesting and kind of disruptive. So basically, you're trying to offer a solution for somebody, especially customers, without a computer or internet. That's a kind of solution I'm seeing from your pitch. So who is actually and what problem you're solving in terms of text-based, and how that is increasing the efficiency with respect to the previous and after implementing your solution? Can you give some background on it?
Yeah, so actually there is I can share later on if somebody is interested in a graph from Department of Labor. Since 1970s till today, the number of administrators in healthcare has increased by 3,600%. And in the same time period, number of physicians have barely budged. They have essentially remained the same. And the problem is that anything that in healthcare we are trying to do, we are trying to use one-on-one communication with phone. So that's what we are replacing. So we actually offload quite a bit of work, which is either done in a very expensive way, which is one-on-one over phone, or it is not being done at all. And so, for instance, we have a lot of VA member, for instance, and they have varying need. They need to be engaged, whether that's for mental health, for trauma, or any other need. And there are so many of them that you cannot do it over the phone. So our bot interacts with them, and when that interaction indicates that there is a need for intervention, we alert the care team, which is doctor or their case manager. Similarly, our bot interact with them, simple things such as getting annual or getting flu shot and those kind of things. Our bot can automatically engage, whether it's seniors or whether it's and I'll come back to senior just in a second, but VA member, for instance, and make sure that that first of all they know that they need to get annual, or when they turn 50 they need to get colonoscopy, or if they are female for over 50 they need to get mammogram, and then help them schedule right then and there. They can do it on their own. Similarly, for Medicare patient, annual wellness visit is one of the big friction point, and when but very few patients get that annual wellness visit. We currently do it. We engage patient proactively. We know that they are due for annual wellness visit. We engage them. We help them schedule the appointment right there. They can interact with the bot middle of the night and schedule that appointment. And that's the flexibility. They don't need to go on computer. They don't need to download an app. They don't need to remember a username and password. And by doing that, we show a significant improvement in those preventive care utilization.
Excellent, excellent. Very, very quick answer if you can provide. Can you share any number of patients that or people or the users that currently the bot is handling? Anything that you could like to share?
Yeah, so I mean, every day we are probably connecting thousands of patients. So we have large health system, for instance, Catering Health in Ohio. They serve, I believe, nearly 1.2 million visits a year. Confluence Health is nearly 2 million visits a year. I'll have to kind of do the math, how many it comes to like per
Just
day.
an idea. Okay.
But just in general, on per day basis, like thousands of patients we are engaging.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Again, very, very informative, and we would like to bring all of you, and we, if possible, will make our personal introduction to local companies and agencies. The idea behind this pitch session is to give a glimpse of disruptive technologies where we want to bring Silicon Valley innovation and accelerate those innovation get implemented in the federal agency side and government side. So again, thank you very much for everyone join us today and participating and sharing your knowledge. Again, thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.